Hello, welcome to this week's video. So this week I'm making some baby rattles. The main wood is red gum, in which I drilled a hole at each end and put rice, I think it was jasmine rice, in the holes, and then glued a piece of yellow box wood on either side of the red gum. I did that a couple of weeks ago and I decided to finish them now. There's a few of them there. I see most people on YouTube turn the rattles with a skew, but the two woods I've used, the red gum and the yellow box, are extremely hard, so I find it easy using the roughing gouge. Which brings me to the tools I have. So I've heard a few people talk about their tools, the wood carvers and wood turners, and they've basically got a lot of tools but they only use just a handful of them. I suppose I'm the same. I haven't got that many tools, but I've got a few different ones. I've got some scrapers, beading form tool, thread chasing tools, texturing tools, just to name a few. Then I've got the normal gouges, parting tools, that sort of stuff. So a few years ago, well, it was a few years ago, quite a few years ago, I went to an art show in Alexandria, and the men's shed were making tools and they were selling some. So I bought a spindle gouge, brought it home, and it was a fantastic tool. It kept its sharpness and it was nice and heavy. And so I went back to Alexandria some weeks later. I had a job up there, and according to the men's shed, and I purchased half a dozen tools. There was the roughing gouge, spindle gouge, bowl gouge, skew. There was a couple of other tools. And I use that roughing gouge in most of the videos. It's a great tool, it's heavy, keeps its sharpness. So for all the tools that I have, there's only a handful that I constantly use, and you probably see them pop up in the videos all the time. The roughing gouge, as I mentioned before, there's the crown spindle gouge, the half-inch gouge, the German skew, the parting tool, and straight round tipped carbine tool. The handle broke on that one, so I turned one out of she oak, and it's a beautiful handle, nice and heavy, and it's got a great feel about it. And then I've also got a bendy carbine tool, which I use for the hollow forms. So I've probably got about 4, 5 or 6 tools that I use constantly, and all the others just gather dust up there. So you wonder sometimes whether you need to buy so many tools or you just grab a few that you use all the time. So I've got a few of the rattles now, and my wife gave a couple out to my niece who recently had a baby. Saw the other night it was getting well used. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the video. See you next time. Cheerio.